The research group I'm in is the Evolution and Development Research Group, and I suppose what connects all our research is that we ask fundamental questions about what makes us human, how particular skills like motor skills, thinking skills, all these kind of things have developed not just across our lifespan as people, but also across our lifespan as humanity.
Well, there are two very important applications, I think, or implications of my research for human society and for people in general. The first one has to do with altruism and when and why we act altruistically towards other individuals. By looking at our closest relatives, the human primates, we can understand whether we are different from other species in terms of how altruistic we are. We tend to have a natural tendency to act altruistically, even very young children do that.
The research group in infant and child development looks at different areas in children's development. So we look, for example, at how they develop cognitive and language skills, motor skills, at attention, and we also look at injury prevention. So basically we try to explore typical behavior in children, and we also look at ways to prevent injuries, for example.
My particular research focus is the imagination. When you think about imagination, normally you think that children make up weird and wonderful things, but really part of what we need imagination for is for the whole social fabric, because when we think about interacting with people, when we think about what other people think or feel, these are all things that we can't see, so we have to have a sort of leap of faith and think this is things that go on, and if I want to understand what people do, what they think, how I might understand what it is they do, I have to think about things that I can't see, that actually don't exist. And so what is fascinating is to see how children actually develop all these kind of skills, how they sort of become able to interact with people, to really sort of fit into the social fabric that we have. Of course, other applications of this skill is that we, as people, we're not rooted in here and now. I can think about things in the future. In fact, we have to think about the future a lot when we make decisions. I have to decide what my future self would like, and children have to do the same things. And these are the kind of things that I find particularly fascinating, to see how they develop in childhood and how we can explain these skills. Developmental psychology shouldn't just describe that things develop, but it should explain what drives the development and how we can explain the cognitive architecture and all the things that are weird and wonderful about people.